Manchester United defender Diogo Dalot has been speaking exclusively to talkSPORT's Inside Devils earlier today and said that his side got to improve next season.
For you to arrive, you're going to have quality. I think that's undeniable, because otherwise you wouldn't sign for a club like this. But then there's when we talk about this type of pressure, that is especially from the outside, from the fans, it's specific because they just want you to see giving everything for the club. Then you might have good games or bad games. You might have less or better quality than some players, but that standard, that thing that you need to show when you're on the pitch, I think that's the most important thing as a club, especially for the fans. I think that's the first big thing that they want to see in the football
commitment, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're not committed to what you are doing, to the games you're playing, to the club, I think it will be very difficult for you to succeed at this club.
All right, you'll be able to hear more of that interview actually in full on the latest episode of Inside Devils. That's over on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. Just before we get to more callers, Darren, it's bizarre to think how, when you're talking about your top four, that by default, there would have been a time where Man United would have been in the conversation. It would have just been, as I say, default rather than anything else. And yet they have fallen so far. There's just no one, I think, that would bring them into the conversation currently.
No, absolutely not. And I feel that the players now, the generation we're in now, still see that in terms of Manchester United. That's why they've still got the pull. That's why Mbermo is picking them to go to. I think give it another 5-10 years, they're not going to have that pull anymore. So I think they know it as well. They need to use these next 5-10 years to get back into the mix, get back up there in the Premier League where they were when I was growing up in particular. They were dominating football. You go to Old Trafford, you look at their players, you think we've lost already in the tunnel. And that's what they used to bring. Now, no one fears them anymore. And I think the next generation of players coming through, they're not going to see Manchester United as we see them, and they need to change that. They need to change the perception and get back up where they feel they deserve.
You mentioned, obviously, Brian Mbermo. He said when he grew up, he was wearing Man United shirts, and that's probably part of the reason why he wanted to join them.
They all were, though, weren't they?
Well, probably so, but probably so. Yeah. And there were a lot.
Same as Cunha.
Yeah, perhaps you're absolutely right. Obviously, we've been talking about Ollie Watkins and then also Benjamin Sesko, who it seems is in a bit of a tug of war with Newcastle, if you believe some reports. Let's ask you, if you were Benjamin Sesko right now, which club are you going to?
Right now, I would go to Newcastle right now, because if I was a young player like Sesko, you want to play at the highest level. You want to play Champions League. You want to come and play in the Premier League. So Newcastle, for me, do you want to go to a project that is essentially Manchester United? And that's not just my words. We've seen Brian Mbermo, we've seen Cunha say the same thing. It's a project. Ruben Amorim always mentions the project. Do you want to go to that, or do you want to go to Newcastle that is a Champions League side at the moment? You've potentially losing Isak, so you're going to step straight in as the main centre forward if they do lose him. I just feel as someone with ambition, you'd want to go to a club that are already on the up. Do you want to wait 3, 4, 5 years? I was listening to, I think it was Adi Oladipo, Simon Jordan and Martin O'Neill this morning. And Martin O'Neill was saying, you definitely choose Manchester United because it is Manchester United. And I do get that, but there comes a point when it's not that anymore. And you go to the clubs that are up the top of the division as opposed to working their way back up, and it's going to take 3, 4, 5, 6 years to even get there. Some players haven't got that time.
And yet it feels, as we speak, that Newcastle are losing out for a lot of the targets that they have had in mind for this coming season. That being said, we're talking about Manchester United and what you think of the club as it stands right now. Are they still one of the most attractive clubs in world football? And was last season merely a blip, and you're going to get the big times coming back to you once more? 03717 2233 44. That's the number to call us on this evening. Let's get to Michael, the Man United fan. How you doing, Michael?
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Natalie. How are you?
Very well.
Darren?
Yeah, good.
Thanks for ringing us then, Michael. So we're talking about, where you think you are as a world club, let's say, these days, and also on the situation of Sesko. Are you in favour of him?
No.
Why?
Just look at the evidence last season. Look at the evidence when we brought the youngsters in. Xerxes, Hoyland.
Mm.
And we spent big money on him. We got burnt.
Mm.
I'd rather go with someone who's prevalently proven. We bought 2 already of prevalently improvement, where I'm going, that's going to be a hell of an improvement. I would get a number 9. I would go Ollie Watkins all day long. No matter about his age, he's a proven Premier League goal scorer, and that's what we need right now. And there's other things we need as well, like centre-back, goalkeeper, and midfield. But Ollie Watkins would be the one for me.
Do you think the experience of Ollie Watkins as well, Michael, would help Hoyland and Xerxes as well?
Yes. Because Hoyland at the minute looks like a lost little boy on the pitch. He doesn't know where to get in space. People don't look for him.
Mm.
And when he does get a shot and goal, he does try. I give him credit. He does run around. Like a lot of them don't run around. He does put a shift in.
That's a given, though, isn't it, though, Michael? That's a given. Players run around.
Everyone should be doing any club. We used to, as football people, even in low leagues, and I won trophies. We ran around for 90 minutes.
Yep.
You give your heart out.
Yeah.
This club is an actual disgrace. I mean, let's be honest. Who would have thought when Ten Hag got sacked, we were 8th, Moonman come in and put us where we are now in the relegation battle last season?
Yeah, it was an unexpected season, certainly for Manchester United last season. But they brought in, as you say, Premier League proven players, and maybe that's why Ollie Watkins is also on the radar too. Let's bring in, and forgive me if I hope I'm saying, is it Orridge?
Yeah, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, it's Orrid.
Orrid, hello.
Orrid. Hi, Orrid.
Great to have you with us.
Hi. Thank you.
Oh,
You still there, mate?
I think we've lost you. We'll try and get you back.
Yeah, we're getting back. But you know what? I look at the decision to sign Benjamin Sesko instead of Ollie Watkins, or say that he's the number 1 target now. I think it's foolish. I do. I really don't understand the decisions. Look, he's very highly thought of. We know that. You listen to Andy Brassel, you listen to Kevin Hatchard when they're on, the European experts. They speak highly of him. But his goal record is not great. It's not fantastic. It's not like, wow, like Haaland was in particular when Manchester City signed him. For me, it's a lot of money to go for an unproven forward. I compare him a little bit to Rasmus Højlund, although he's sought after a little bit more. He's rated a little bit higher than what Rasmus Højlund was before he came. But why not go for the here and now? Why not go for a proven goal scorer? Why not go for Ollie Watkins, who, yes, didn't start the majority, the amount of games as he would have wanted to. So he would have a point to prove. The World Cup's coming up next season, so he wants to be on that plane desperately. You rightly said as well, he's played with Brian and Burmo. They know each other, albeit it wasn't in the Premier League. I just don't understand this decision. If you could get him for a little bit less, probably, which you can, why go for a player that, it's a big sell-on clause. I know it's a business at the end of the day, but since when has Manchester United been a selling club? They haven't. They've been a club that wants to win things, wants to develop players. And I just feel Ollie Watkins, what's he, 29?
Yeah.
Gone are the days for me that players are 35 and they have to retire. That's the age. The legs are gone. They look after themselves too much. There's too much involved in the game in terms of science and technology. For me, I think it's a foolish decision to not go for Ollie Watkins.
So we're talking about number 9s at the moment, and I guess the big question as well is what's going to happen with Alexander Isak.
By the way, sorry to butt in, we're not saying that Ollie Watkins would even want to go there. Like, I was listening earlier and someone called up, like, how dare you say that? We're not saying that. We're saying, but if they had the decision, Manchester United, why are they going for a young, unproven player at this level as opposed to someone like Ollie Watkins, who may turn them down anyway? Look, Aston Villa are doing really well. Great club, great manager. So that's not to say that, this is definitely going to happen. It's why would Manchester United pick this player over this player?
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.